so I dodged a bullet there. Once in a life experience, and either I do it now. I was growing up in this small town, I hadn't been anywhere. Hello all! So I just watched somebody did this type of video and I was inspired to do this myself because I haven't done something like this for a while. So 5 cool things about me, and I just thought about a few of them, but I don't have 5 yet, but I'm sure I can come up with them. But as I was thinking about it, I started thinking I need to think about these things more often, because when you think, like, I currently constantly think about what I need to, or what I want to still achieve, what I still want to learn, and what all the things that are on my to-do list. And obviously that's important, because otherwise you're not moving forward. But if that's all you think about, it can make you feel like you haven't achieved anything, and because you're not thinking about the things that you have achieved. And also feel free to leave in the comments below 5 things that you have achieved, or just start to think about them as you watch this video. So let's start with the first one. One really cool fact about me, I think, is the fact that when I was still at school and I was really young, I was just studying to do my A-levels, and I was growing up in this small town. I hadn't been anywhere. At the time I hadn't even been in an airplane ever, because my family never went abroad on any holidays. We only took holidays within Germany, and even that didn't happen very often. So one day at school, I walk past this poster that says, "Do you want to have the best year of your life?" And it was an advertisement for being an au pair in America. And I thought, yes. So I was sitting in class and I was thinking to myself how amazing it would be to graduate from this spot, the school, in a year's time, and then set off to America. So at first I wasn't sure, because I was in a long-term relationship and I really wasn't sure how my boyfriend would react. So I thought about this for a while, and at first I thought it would be too long to go away, but in the end I decided it's a once in a life experience, and either I do it now, or that possibility, that opportunity is going to pass. And so I decided that if that's what I really want to do, I should just do it. In the meantime, as I was thinking about it, I went to a meeting. Basically the agency that was on the poster, I contacted them and they had little get-togethers. I thought it was purely informational. What they didn't tell me was that at the end of that informational meeting, they would interview me. You know what? Now that I'm a bit older, I'm thinking I could have just said I don't want to be interviewed because I came here to get information. I guess, I don't know. They just said when we approached the end of the information meeting, they just said, okay, now we're just going to interview everyone. Yeah, I guess I could have said no, but because I didn't come for an interview, I literally just wanted information. So they interviewed me, and then I got a letter in the mail saying that I was rejected. They didn't say why, but I sort of knew why. The interview didn't go that well because I hadn't been prepared for it. So I just thought to myself, if you really want to do it, just apply with a different agent. In the end of the day, that was actually better for me, because the agent that I applied with then, and with whom I in the end went to America with, was actually a much better agency. Much better. So I dodged a bullet there. Okay, so the first cool fact basically is that as a very young girl, very young woman, I decided to put, how do you say, matters in my own hands and just go abroad. And at that point, I had never been abroad. My English language skills were okay, but I wasn't one of these people who were like really, really good at it. So my English needed improving. I didn't have a whole lot support in my community for going abroad. So that's why I think it's a really cool fact about myself that I did it anyway, despite what other people thought, despite any hindrances. I had a goal, I knew what I wanted, and I proceeded. Now, the second really cool fact about me, and this is I don't want this to be self-promo. Let me go back in time to explain what fact is about to come. So, a few years back, I went through a breakup that was probably the worst breakup I've ever experienced in my entire life. And most people, even people who know me, probably wouldn't know how bad it was because I didn't want to annoy people or be really whiny and be that the only thing I would talk about. So obviously in the beginning stages I would be really upset and I would tell people, but as time passed I would just keep it to myself. But the grieving and the getting over this relationship took a lot longer than most people know. It took, I would say that after 6 months I started to feel a little bit better. I wasn't over it yet, but I started to get past the really bad stage. But 6 months is a really long time, a really long time when you have something that upsets you as much as this did, and you still have to do your daily life, you still have to go to work, you still have to get yourself up in the morning, and yeah. I guess this is two things in one, to be honest. So I think it's actually really amazing that I managed to get out of that situation on my own and see the silver lining again. I know it's, for a lot of people, it's very easy to say, oh, you meet someone else, oh, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter in the moment that you're in that emotional pain. But what I was getting to is that I was also using that moment in time in really analyzing what went wrong and writing everything down, not just about that relationship, but everything I've learned about relationships and everything that I've learned, not just through my own experience, but also through research, doing classes, reading almost every relationship book on the horizon. And then I wrote my own book, which I now can't find. Oh, yeah. This book, Love Life Simplified, which I then won an award for. I feel like it's already 3 things that are cool facts about me, but it's just 1, I guess. No, this is 2. So we are at 3 facts now. So the reason I think I can be really proud of this, and this is a cool fact about me, is because writing a book isn't an easy process. And along the way, a lot of people actually told me they could never do it. And I was just determined. That was something I was really determined about. I can't even tell you why, but I just knew that I would just do it. I would just do it. I would just see it through to the end. It's almost, I don't know where that came from. I just knew I'm doing this, I'm seeing it through to the end, and I am publishing this. And so I am really proud of that. Okay. Now we have 2 more facts to cover. What else? I think I need to turn the camera off for a second. Okay, I have found 2 things. So, one really cool thing about me is that unless somebody has done something really terrible that is unforgivable, I do think that most people, not all people, but some people deserve another chance to be in your life, or in this case in my life. So this is kind of going back to fact one, where I told you that I wanted to be an au pair in America. So I did go, and I was an au pair in America. And I had my ups and downs during that au pair year. Sadly, the very end part was more of a down than an up, which is not good, not great. I mean, things didn't really end on a good note. It's not that there was a big argument or a big fight or anything at the very end and then I left. It wasn't like that, but the summer before I left was not an easy summer. And when I left, I was relieved to go. I don't know if they felt the same way. And I, at the time, when I was dropped at the airport, thought, this is it. I'm never gonna see them again. This is it. But then I wasn't in touch with the family for a while. I can't remember. It's been a while, but I think the mom... No, I remember now. Okay, so a while after I left, I wrote the mom a letter, and I was just sort of explaining from my... I think, because it's so long ago, I think I was just explaining from my side how I felt that summer, and I guess I was just clarifying things because I don't like to leave on a bad note. So that's why I wrote her the letter. And she got back to me quite quickly and responded, I think, in a positive way. But sorry, it's just such a long time ago. But after that, we stayed in touch a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. But again, I never thought I'd return ever. But then a few years later, I thought maybe I should return. So I spoke to the family and they invited me back. And I didn't know if it was a good idea. I really didn't know because, like I said, everything was so up and down before. So I felt like it was a risk going. But at the same time, I was willing to take the risk. So I went and we had a lovely time, really lovely. And we were able to clear everything up that was sort of in between us from the au pair year. And we just had a wonderful time. And then I visited again at some point. I can't remember how much time was in between. And then at some point COVID happened and now I've just visited them again last year. But the moral of the story is that just because you have a disagreement with somebody or things weren't perfect, it doesn't always mean that it's the end. It could mean that you have to really listen to your heart and listen to your inner voice, whether you should try something again, whether you should move forward. I always had this feeling that this family, even though I had my issues with them, they were really good people at heart. And because of that feeling, I just followed that. And now, over the past few years, they have been such a blessing in my life, honestly. I mean, we don't live in the same country, obviously, but we are regularly in touch and I absolutely love them and they're such a blessing in my life. And so I think it's a really cool fact about me that I wasn't bitter and I didn't say, oh, we had some arguments and that's that. I had the confidence to clear things up. And the last cool fact about me, I don't know why I have to keep saying cool. It's not like I'm 15 or something. I actually forgot. I've talked for so long now that I forgot. The last cool fact about me, now I remember, is that when I worked as a nanny, at some point a colleague of mine came to me and said, I'm trying this new job and this is something that you could do as well. And she was talking about social care, private elderly care. And at the time she had signed up, but she hadn't done it. So I thought, okay, let her go do it and I'll speak to her then. And so I spoke to her again and she said that it was a really good opportunity, that she really enjoyed the jobs she was given through that agency and that she would definitely recommend it to me. And so I signed up with that agency, but I was still afraid to take the leap. So I worked another year. I don't know, but I worked for quite a while until I finally made the decision to try this, to try something completely new, something that I've never done before. And it was terrifying at first. And actually for a little while it was, because everything was new. But over time I developed confidence and I didn't give up. And I've managed to work with some amazing people and had really, really wonderful experiences. And therefore I am really proud of myself. I would really like to know 5 things that you would say you're proud of yourself. Or even if you can't think of 5, just say 2 or 3. Think of 2 or 3 things that you have done in your life that you are proud of. People always give this advice, like at night, write down 3 things you're grateful for. And gratefulness is a really, really good is a really important practice, 100%. But I think remembering what you're good at, or remembering how you contribute positively in this world, is important too, because it raises your confidence, and the more confident and happy you are, the more you can give back to others as well as yourself. And so I just realized I'm really far down. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed and you would like to see more videos, please subscribe. And I will then see you. Well, I don't see you actually, but you will see me in another video if you subscribe. Okay, bye.